Good news for snipers. On PTS, Emperor's Grace seems to be working with lingering concealment. Now, this is huge. Now, I recently just unlocked Emperor's Grace. I do have a Prestige 4 sniper now, and I'm very excited to try it out. However, obviously, it seems to not work with lingering concealment in the, vanilla game right now. Apparently in the PTS, they, fixed this. So that's huge, and I'm definitely glad to see that. That is likely one of the best changes that these classes went through in the PTS is, honestly, getting 2 extra seconds of iframes from Emperor's Grace is definitely very useful with lingering concealment, because lingering concealment gives you a couple extra seconds of camo. So essentially, you can go to camo, get the, extra damage, take advantage of the extra damage, and then still have a few seconds of camo. I'm honestly pretty curious on why people like these 2 perks together. I guess for whatever reason, Emperor's Grace feels like a good perk for me to just, use camo, take advantage of the iframes, and, basically that's it. But hey, people like to pair it with lingering concealment. I just feel like it's kind of odd because you're already in camo. Why would you need the extra iframes? Whatever. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing something with that. I will be trying out Emperor's Grace soon, so I'm definitely excited to try that out. And I think it's going to be a great perk. But yeah, ultimately, this is, oh yeah, by the way, Emperor's Grace is a prestige perk, just to let you know. But yeah, this is one of the better changes from the PTS that was pretty much included for any classes. I am going to go over one really good change besides this one, but I think this is definitely one of the best class changes the PTS introduced. But yeah, let's finish the post here. 2 seconds of invulnerability, 2 seconds of stealth, and it does not drain your cooldown over the duration of lingering concealment. If you melee cancel out of stealth as you activate your cooldown, your cooldown will be reset right as your stealth fades. Great news for SMG snipers, and incredibly useful in siege mode. Yeah, I can imagine. Sniper is definitely going to be really, really good for siege mode. But yeah, let me do this again. 2 seconds of invulnerability, right? 2 seconds of stealth. Yeah, you're in stealth. Why would you need the iframes, right? It does not drain your cooldown. If you melee cancel out of stealth as you activate it, your cooldown will be reset as your stealth fades. Yeah, that's good. Obviously, that's good, and I can see why they pair it with the SMG, because of squad renewal. You will likely be able to get your camo back incredibly fast. That's pretty much all I want is squad renewal and Emperor's Grace. That seems pretty insane. But yeah, at the same time, it's kind of interesting. Now, I could be missing something with Emperor's Grace, but 2 seconds of iframes is definitely going to be useful regardless. But yeah, let's go into some comments to see if people can, share their thoughts about this combination. I do think this is one of the best changes from the patch. As far as, people really wanted this to work together. So, yeah, let's learn a bit about this. Let's see why it's so good. And yes, I will be trying out Emperor's Grace soon. Why would you ever not take the contested health restore on Cloak perk? They are referring to purification. And yes, it does exactly that. When you use camo, it regenerates your contested health. Very nice. Well, I guess refills your contested health, however you would want to describe that. You get health back. It's one of the best perks in the game. Yeah, I agree. Purification is very, very good. I use it pretty much on every sniper build. You guys probably see me use it a lot, and I definitely enjoy using it. I do like other perks on that row or column or however you want to describe it. But yeah, ultimately, purification is really good. However, the original poster does have a pretty good response for this. You definitely could, but it's kind of redundant with this build. Basically, you run in 2-second intervals of invulnerability and stealth. By the time you're vulnerable and targetable, you're ready to drop back into stealth. I opted for the free reload perk, so I'm able to keep firing more consistently. Plus, it lets me run a full damage build on my SMG. So basically, their response here is you don't need to heal if you never get damaged. That is how people are describing it underneath this comment. And I think it's interesting. I think this is an interesting build, and I'm definitely glad that Emperor's Grace actually works with lingering concealment now. I guess lingering concealment gives you a couple of seconds to get squad renewal back. I'm just curious, why would you want iframes when you have camo? Or maybe I'm missing something here. Regardless, this is definitely a situation where we had perks that were broken Like, it wasn't Emperor's Grace. It was Lingering Concealment that was broken with Emperor's Grace. So regardless, now they work together, which is very, very nice. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing something about that combination. I will be trying out Emperor's Grace soon, so I'm excited for that. But I knew people wanted this change because of the way the bug practically broke one of the perks. So this is definitely a really, really good change in the patch. Probably one of the best ones for any class. And we have one more. We have one more change that could potentially be the best class change in the PTS. This new tactical perk will be very useful, allowing the whole squad a moderate grenade spam during waves and also on operations. Okay, yes, this perk definitely works the way they describe it, and it's definitely going to do the thing that it does. Ultimately, keep track of your tactical teammates. If they have this perk, pick up a Melta. Pick up a Melta or crack grenades. Shock grenades are pretty good, to be honest. But yeah, definitely upgrade your grenades, because you are definitely going to find yourself with an extra grenade pretty much in every other encounter. It's very good. Secure Stockpile is one of the coolest perks that they put in the game, and the fact that it's on Tactical's like first row here of perks, you can get this like level 4, level 5. I think it's level 5 for the team perk, right? Regardless, however it works out, definitely pick up Secure Stockpile. It's definitely going to be very, very good in Siege mode. And I know, see, here's the thing. The one perk that they do have here, the advanced, it's not advanced conditioning, but it's pretty much advanced conditioning for, like, ranged weapons, or you regenerate more contested health with ranged weapons. I never really understood that perk. I don't think it was really that good. Maybe, you know, maybe it's usable with advanced conditioning. Regardless, Secure Stockpile might be the Tactical's best team perk. And I guess, what's the other one? Extra range damage, right? I don't know. Regardless, Secure Stockpile is definitely going to be very useful. This is definitely something that you can consider one of the best class changes. And yeah, this one's going to be a meta shifter, I think. I think Tactical with extra grenades is going to be very dangerous. You know, you can increase the damage your grenades do with Scan with one of those perks right there. So you're going to have a lot of extra grenades. It's going to be very powerful. Between Secure Stockpile and the Emperor's Grace bug being fixed, I think these are the best two class changes. I'm not going to include the Thunderhammer Bulwark in this one. It's just a Bulwark getting a Thunderhammer. They didn't really change icon or anything like that. I guess this is more so about class changes as far as perks go. But still, Secure Stockpile might be stronger than giving the Thunderhammer to the Bulwark. We will see. We will see. Ultimately, we will see how players kind of play around the new stuff. I think the PTS is kind of interesting. You know, in the PTS, you have some pretty dedicated players. So I kind of want to see what this stuff ends up doing when it actually hits, like, the main player base, and to see how people react to it. Because I think Secure Stockpile is going to be a fun one to play around. You're definitely going to want to keep track of your teammates, you know, team perks for that. Because, again, if they have Secure Stockpile and you just have regular grenades, you're kind of missing out on some damage. I think shock grenades are pretty good, crack grenades, but Meltas is really where you should be aiming your Secure Stockpile extra grenades at, because Meltas can just take out extremist enemies incredibly fast, and you'll have one every 60 seconds, so you can potentially match that with every extremist encounter. So Secure Stockpile equals Meltas for every extremist encounter in Absolute. This might be an Absolute 2.0 like meta shifter. You might need this in Absolute 2.0. We will see. We will see. I'm super excited for Absolute 2.0, but I definitely want to play it with randoms to see how it works out. I did do a solo run, but I just practically skipped the second Terminus because I was playing Assault. I had no ammo and ran into a zone thrope. It was ugly. It was ugly. I probably should have used a better class. But still, you know, there's gonna be more than enough time to play Absolute 2.0, and I think, you know, Tactical's pretty much built for it. But yeah, let's go into the comments to see if anyone has anything interesting to say about Secure Stockpile. Ultimately, it's pretty clear it's very strong and probably one of the best class changes in the PTS. This will definitely help with the Terminus enemy buffs. Most importantly, against the waves they bring. Imagine the spams will have the Melta bombs, cracks, etc. Yeah, imagine the spams we'll have of Melta bombs, cracks, etc. Yeah, not to mention, there has been a few classes that have updated, you know, equipment charge perks. So yeah, this would be unfortunate, by the way, for Absolute 2.0 to start in a situation where everyone needs a perk specifically for it. And the only real reason that's annoying is because you can get a teammate who's just not interested in playing unless you have unmatched zeal and a Vanguard on the team. That sort of thing can be a little bit annoying. But yeah, the crack grenades, scan, that is going to be a great way to deal with the extra health for Terminus. 100%. Scan crack grenades are going to shred Terminus enemies. But it's weird. It's like Tactical had such a good buff for the extra health of Terminus, but it doesn't really feel like other classes really got that sort of buff. I feel like they were like, okay, Vanguard has unmatched zeal. That's good enough for them. I do think Vanguard has a good equipment charge perk as well, so maybe those equipment charge perks are going to be necessary for for Absolute 2.0, especially for a secure stockpile. Taking advantage of secure stockpiles is going to be key. Taking advantage of your equipment charge is going to be key to dealing with the Terminus extra enemy. It's kind of unfortunate Meltas do less damage to Terminus. If you recall, one of the earlier patches nerfed Meltas against Terminus enemies, and I think people kind of forgot about it. I think they should revert that, considering the extra health, but we will see. There's a million ways they can improve the extra health to make it feel like less bullet spongy in a sense, but overall, I think secure stockpile is definitely a good start with that, so definitely take advantage of that. If you see crack grenades, I would recommend those. Those can deal with extremists very easily, also Meltas, obviously. But the reason I'm talking about crack grenades specifically with Terminus enemies is because if you have a tactical on the team and you're lucky to get a scan on a Terminus, crack grenades should just immediately take off like 33% of their health or something like that. Not 33%, sorry. I mean like of the extra health. So practically you're going to put the Terminus enemy with one scan, one crack grenade back to where they should be. Something like that, right? Yeah, ultimately definitely take advantage of those equipment charge perks. They will be a huge deal in Absolute 2.0 and in Siege. Me reading the current patch notes as a heavy player and seeing no perk changes. That's good. That's good. That means you're honestly, well, it's good for heavy, I will say, because the heavy's in a really good spot for Siege, and I think the fact that the heavy didn't get any meaningful changes is fine ultimately, because heavy now has ammo regeneration. That's pretty much all the heavy needed for Siege mode and hard Siege mode, Absolute 2.0. Heavy's fine. Yeah, we will see what patch 8 brings. These are probably the best changes I've seen in the patch as far as class perk specific changes. And again, yes, the Bulwark Thunderhammer technically has some perk changes and some big slams, but it kind of remains to be seen if playing without a shield is going to be detrimental to the class. We will see if players start to adjust. Ultimately, my experience with the Thunderhammer on Bulwark, I played normal Siege mode, and we definitely got to the later stages, and we completed it, and it was fun. It was very, very fun. But still, giving Bulwark a little extra charge damage on a Thunderhammer, I think that's fine. It's just not as impactful as literally fixing a bugged interaction or giving your entire teammates a grenade for every extremist counter, or every extremist encounter on Absolute and Siege mode, I guess. Yeah, ultimately, free grenades, just a little bit more impactful than, giant slams from Bulwark. And, yeah, fixing a bug, fixing a bugged perk interaction, that's just very, very necessary. Ultimately, hey, those are all good changes. Yes, I will say, though, the Thunderhammer Bulwark is fun, and those perks are good. I just wish, hey, maybe Assault needs a little bit of a 100% charge damage perk or something, you know what I mean? But yeah, we will see. We will see. But yeah, those are my 2 picks for the best class changes in the PTS. Sure, again, Thunderhammer and Bulwark, very good. But hey, I think, yeah, extra grenades is probably the best one, but hey, let me know in the comments if you guys have any opinions about that. Do you have a PTS change that I didn't mention that you think is better than both of these? I do think these are very meaningful changes in the PTS for classes to improve them, and yeah, tactical might be the strongest class for Siege mode. We will see. But regardless, let me know if let me know how you feel about this and how PTS has been affecting the game. And thanks for watching.